Hey guys, Will here with W.T.F car reviews, and today we're reviewing the all-new 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe SEL.
And a big thanks to Brandon Hyundai for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to your inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out.
And for those of you guys who don't know, the Santa Fe started off as Hyundai's compact SUV back in 2001, moving up to the mid-size segment in 2006 and sticking to it through the 5th generation released this year for 2024. Outside of the ground-up all-new interior and exterior styling, the 2024 Santa Fe now gets a standard third row and a standard powerful 2.5-liter four-cylinder cranking out 277 horsepower, 311 pound-feet of torque, made it to an 8-speed wet dual-clutch transmission available either with front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, and can hit 0 to 60 between 6 and 7 seconds depending on your traction, ranging up to the $46,000 top-of-the-line calligraphy down to the $33,950 base SE we just reviewed on this channel. Here we have the SEL sitting about $2,500 above the base SE with some really useful options and features. What else do we get for that money? Let's jump right in. So up front, just like the SE, we get full LED headlamps with a high and low beam, LED daytime running light, and an LED runner for the center. Hyundai badge up top, some aluminum looking trim for the grille area. We got our intercooler on the right side and our radiator on the left. Front parking sensing and rear parking sensing with functional airflow in both corners. This is the same paint color as the SE, not quite as shiny. Hopefully you can still pick up the metallic sparkles we get here in this black metallic paint color. The wheel and tire setup also just like the SE. We get these 18-inch black and silver contrasted rims wrapped in Goodyear Assurance Finesse all-season tires. Dimensions are 235/60 R18. So the 60 series sidewall should definitely be enough to keep the ride quality nice and plush, but these 235 wide tires are not even close to enough to put the power to the ground with just front-wheel drive. Because of that, I would definitely recommend getting this vehicle with all-wheel drive, and you'll see why once we take this car out for a drive. We get a dual piston front brake caliper, 5-lug pattern, a little bit of plastic cladding for the wheel well, rocker panel side skirt area too. It would look good with a white contrasted paint color, but with this black theme, it also fits pretty well. We get a black mirror cap, LED turn signal on it. We don't get a camera on the mirror cap because we don't get a 360 or the blind spot camera. We do get blind spot monitoring on the glass, however, and it says Santa Fe in the corner. That would also look a little bit cooler with the white metallic paint color. Unlike the SE, well, the SE did have smart access for the driver and the front passenger, but the SE had a button. For the SEL, we get a touch sensor, so as soon as you put your hand here, it unlocks and you just simply touch and it locks right up. Hopefully you guys can pick up this window sticker for this 2024 Santa Fe SEL 2.5 turbo front wheel drive. With a $36,450 base price, we get a couple $100 in options, but outside of that, hopefully you guys can pause and take a look at all of the standard features. The SE we just reviewed was loaded with them, but this SEL for an additional about $2,500 gets just about every feature you could possibly want or need. Same fuel economy, 24 combined, 20 city, 29 on the highway. Continuing along, we get all blacked out pillars, roof rails up top too. Still no panoramic moonroof. Hopefully you can pick up the shark fin style antenna out rear. We now get a push to open gas cap too. No easy fill. Hyundai says you can throw 87 octane fuel for this turbo four-cylinder, but as with all turbos, I would still recommend going with premium fuel. Same rear wheel and tire setup. The only difference is a smaller brake caliper. I'll take a step back. Hopefully you can pick up the side profile styling. In my opinion, this vehicle is like a mix of 3 separate body styles. I can see some Land Rover Defender. I also see some Ford Bronco Sport, especially from the side profile. And I also see a little bit of Jeep Wagoneer from the rear. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. We get full LED taillights, Santa Fe badging in the center, Hyundai right above it. The rear wiper is hidden underneath the spoiler. Third brake light's also LED. Shout out Brandon Hyundai in Tampa, Florida for helping make this review possible. Reverse lights down below, rear parking sensing, and our exhaust tip. It's not a dual tip like it was for the previous generation, but it's still the same exact power plant, basically the same exact exhaust system. And speaking of it, let's fire it up and hear how she sounds. All right guys, that was the sound of the turbocharged 2.5-liter four-cylinder sold by Hyundai for the 2024 Santa Fe. And it sounds pretty good, making a ton of power at 277 horsepower, 311 pound-feet of torque, made it to an 8-speed wet DCT transmission, and made it to either front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Depending on your traction, you can expect 0 to 60 between 6 and 7 seconds, making it a no-joke performer, especially for a vehicle starting under $34,000 for the base, under $37,000 for this pretty decently equipped SEL. The hydraulic struts are also appreciated. We can shut this hood right down, take a step back, walk around this 2024 Santa Fe SEL one more time, and let's take a step inside and I'll show you what I mean by really useful options and features. The first difference compared to the SE is the different style of smart access and the roof rails, but those are very minuscule differences. The big difference is, as you'll see when we take a step inside, outside of the door panel, this is where the money is. But anyway, the door panel is the exact same as the SE. We still get the stitch material aluminum beneath it, aluminum door handle. We get auto one touch for both windows up front. The SE only had auto one touch for the driver, 4-way adjustable mirrors, a little bit of storage, gushy soft armrest with some contrast stitching. The SE did not get contrast stitching for the armrest. Decent storage down below though. You'll stack 2 6-inch subs on top of each other and a big gulp with maybe a 12-ounce water bottle right next to it. We still don't get the upgraded sound system on the SEL, got to go above to get that, but this base sound system still sounds more than good enough. The seats, we get this synthetic leather seats. The cloth from the SE were comfortable, but these just feel significantly more premium, and a big reason to go with the SEL is the power seats too. Power seats are just about standard feature among all new vehicles, but the SE does not get them. The SEL does. We get lumbar control, aluminum switches for the recline, drop, lift, and slide function. These are also heated seats as well with perforation in the middle. But taking a step inside, we can really check it out. So foot on the brake, engine start stop, and everything fires right to life. But overall, compared to the SE we just reviewed in this channel, this is just about the exact same interior. Outside of the automatic climate control, the sensor for the driver attention level, and the overall seats themselves, which of course are heated, which they were not in the SE. The steering wheel is still very thick, solid 1002, 9.3 fits perfect in your hand. The controls on the left side, we have our radar cruise control, lane keep assist with the infotainment adjustments all throughout. On the right side, voice commands, AM, FM, Sirius, volume and skip. You can hang up and answer your phone calls with favorites. Horn area is rubberized, horn itself, loud and aggressive. We had dual pane windows on the SE, and they continue for the SEL to be expected, and the windows go up and down very quickly with an additional piece of glass to help us out with the forward visibility. It's a tilt and telescoping steering wheel. We have a traction control. You can open up your lift gate, interior brightness, electronic parking brake, and hopefully get a good look at the pedals. Tilt and telescoping steering wheel, aluminum paddle shifters for the 8-speed wet DCT, auto headlamps, auto high beams, but still no auto rain sensing wipers. Got to go to the top trims for that. The stitching continues for the dashboard. We get the dual 12.3-inch screens. The gauge display is adjusted with these buttons. You get your advanced safety features, information, tire pressure, and your trip computer. Since last reset, auto start stop, current trip, sense refueling, all of that. My personal favorite would be to look at the advanced safety features, digital speedo, digital tach with some dashes on the outside to kind of function as an analog function. Up top, fuel level. Down below, we have the temperature outside and mileage in the vehicle next to the traffic sign recognition. Fuel level on the left side, coolant temperature on the right. The 12.3-inch touchscreen. We didn't get navigation on the SE. Doesn't look like we get navigation either on the SEL. We press the map function and see, only available with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. So you got to go to the higher trims or take an option group to get the navigation. Either way, it's still a very responsive display. We have our Sirius XM while the membership is active, phone projection, valet mode, and the vehicle diagnostics. This will be my personal favorite screen to leave it at, so we'll leave it there. Oops, didn't mean to click any buttons. Right here, home screen, cool. Beneath that, air vents, engine start stop, faux carbon trim running all throughout. Shortcuts, they include the volume dial, home, map, search, media, seek, track, favorites, and setup with a tune dial on the right side. Dual zone automatic front climate control that we didn't have on the SE. Heated seats also didn't have. Auto hold, drive mode selector. The drive modes include sport, normal, and my drive. We'll start the review off in normal, transition to sport, and to see what the differences are. Auto engine start stop we can disable, hill descent control, and we can check out our cameras. Well, camera, we don't get a forward facing on the SEL. But the backup camera has a really high resolution, guidance lines, and trajectory with front and rear parking sensing right next to it. Press it one more time and it returns us to the previous screen. And you can turn off your front and rear parking sensors for one reason or another. You get dual USB-C ports too and dual wireless charging pads. I have not seen that on many new vehicles. Two massive cup holders. You'll fit big gulps in both of these containers. Stitched center console armrest is not the softest, but it's decently soft and decently spacious. You'll fit 5 or 6, maybe 7 1-liter bottles of soda with an LED interior light in there as well. 2 tiers of glove boxes. The first tier is decently spacious. You'll fit about 4 pairs of gloves. You'll fit 6 pairs of socks, and it's soft touch on the outside, faux carbon trim beneath it, aluminum separating the 2 tiers, and a really high quality feeling bottom glove box. It's damped, not lined in felt, but very spacious. You have this top tier where you'll fit 5 or 6 license plates and about 15 to 20 for the bottom tier. You'll easily fit 2 pairs of shoes. We get an almost frameless but not auto dimming rear view mirror. You got to pull this flappy thing to dim it. The interior lights are touch sensitive and LED SOS in front of it. That's about it though, guys, for the front seat of this 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe SEL. This is a really well loaded vehicle for the price point. Are we missing some features? Sure, we don't get a 360-degree camera. We don't get the blind spot cameras either, or the auto dimming rear view mirror, or the upgraded sound system. But the biggest feature that I think that we're missing is the lack of all-wheel drive, because with just front-wheel drive, this motor does make a little bit too much power in my opinion, but we'll see that once we take it out for a drive. Out rear, we'll see how much space is offered back there behind my seat settings. Up top, the stitching continues from up front. Aluminum trim separated into 2 tiers, aluminum door handle, and a gushy soft stitched armrest. It's not an auto one touch window out back, but they are auto one touch out front. 2 cup holders and a decent little storage slot in there. Plastic foot plates, so we have to get the carpet all filthy. The rear seats are still that same material as up front, the synthetic leather, and they're fully adjustable seats, so you can slide them and recline them with a button to shoot everything forward to access the 3rd row a little bit easier. But taking a step inside, I'm a little bit over 6 feet tall sitting behind my seat settings, and just like the SE, I have almost a foot of knee room. Headroom, I have like 4 or 5 inches, and this isn't even the most reclined setting. In its most reclined mode, look at this, I got over a foot of headroom and still plenty of room for my knees. The recline function in this SUV is really impressive. We get air vents to blow directly into our face, hooks for shopping bags, purses, whatnot, and we have mat pockets behind both of the front seats. The center cubby has a rope, and it's decently soft synthetic leather. You'll fit 2 16-ounce water bottles with a shot glass in the center. We get 2 USB-C ports too. The interior light back here is LED, and we get a hook for both of the rear grab handles. That's about it though, guys, for the back seat. I wish we had a moonroof so I could demonstrate how much light is brought in, but we don't get it here. Let's hop out in the 3rd row. I'll reorganize some of that stuff and catch right back with you. All right, guys, with the click of a button, you press it and the seat shoots directly forward. We have some plastic step-in plates. Not the easiest access. The way the door is shaped, my back seems to hit the top of it, but can't really complain for a mid-size 3-row SUV, especially one that gives you this much rear legroom. Again, I'm a little bit over 6 feet tall. The 2nd row passengers still have a ton of space for themselves. Headroom, I still have about 3-4 inches of it. For a 3rd row seat, this is unbelievably spacious. I also didn't mention the 2nd row seat is also this additional cubby space. But back to the 3rd row, oops. We also get 2 additional cup holders and an air vent. We did not get that on the SE, with a separate 3rd zone climate control for the 3rd row passengers, also really impressive. But that's about it though, guys, for this 3rd row. We get LED interior lights. You press this button up top and the 2nd row seat shoots forward for you. But taking a step out of here, this is the only tough part about this 3rd row. It's just not the easiest in and out process for somebody over 6 feet tall. But compared to competition, the mid-size segment, this is one of the most spacious 3rd rows, even compared to some of the full-size segment when referring to like the Toyota Sequoia we just reviewed in this channel. Not quite sure if you guys can pick it up on camera, but we got a little snapping turtle that's poking his head out, giving us a little visit. But continuing along, we'll zoom back out. I have to pull out that tonneau cover so I can access the 3rd row. But this is how much space we have with the 3rd row up. Hopefully you pick it up on camera. Not a whole lot. We do get a little bit of secret storage down here. It's mostly taken up with the fix-it-flat and the jack kit. But on the left side, you'll be able to fit a backpack, maybe 2 shopping bags over there. We can drop this 2nd row or 3rd row seat down with the pull of a latch. And now hopefully you have a good idea of the size of the trunk space. I'll leave a link right here to show you exactly how much space is behind the 3rd row with the 3rd row folded down and with the 2nd row folded down. And speaking of 2nd row folded down, it is done so electronically. The liftgate's also electronic, as we mentioned before. This button closes the liftgate, this button closes it and locks the vehicle. We don't need a lock, so we'll press the button on the left. Actually, Let's lift it back up for 1 second. Put this tonneau cover back in here, and now we'll press this button on the left side, take a step back, and it gives you about a second, maybe two, to get out of the way. So if you have a bunch of grocery bags in your hands or luggage, suitcases, you have a second to get out of the way and not get doofed in the head. Well, that's about it though, guys, for the 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe SEL. Compared to the SE we just reviewed in this channel, this is definitely a better value. For about $2,500, you have some really useful and well-needed options and goodies outside of all-wheel drive. That's the only feature that I wish this SUV had that it doesn't have. And speaking of all-wheel drive, you'll see exactly why once we take this thing out for a drive right now and see what it's got. All right, guys, now we're just about seeing everything we need to see with the inside and outside of the all-new 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe SEL. Let's take it out for a drive and see what it's got. My first impressions, in normal mode, throttle I think is a perfect sensitivity, at least for the front wheel drive. With all-wheel drive, I may reconsider because of the added traction, but in sport mode with just front wheel drive and the added sensitivity from the throttle, it gets a little bit squirrely with the front wheels. And this is a 75-degree sunny day today. If it was even the hint of inclement weather, I could only imagine how much wheel spin we would have here with front wheel drive. Because of that, what's the all-wheel drive? $2,500 option, $3,000 option. I kind of wish they left the front wheel drive only for the SE, and everything above the SE came with standard all-wheel drive. But right here, in normal mode, let's try out an acceleration off the line. Let's just imagine we got to get in front of somebody. About half throttle right here. Yep, there it is already. So, yeah, even in second gear, half throttle, you are seeing that traction control light. But nevertheless, this thing flies. Like, I'm not saying this thing doesn't have the power to break the wheels loose. That's why the wheels are breaking loose, is just because of how much ridiculous amount of power is in this thing for just front wheel drive. The brakes feel good, the steering feels really good, even just in normal mode. But half throttle, so much power. We'll try it out in sport just for the hell of it. We did plenty of sport driving in the SE we just reviewed in this channel, but let's just check out sport. Try out these manual shifts too. We'll lean onto it in first, second gear, go. Boost. It flies. You just gotta know how to use the throttle pedal, because if you're too reckless with it, you're gonna be getting nothing but wheel spin. But leaning into it in second. It is a fast SUV. I could definitely see 0 to 60 happening in the low sixes if you get good traction, but even with crappy traction, it feels like a 6.5 second 0 to 60 car. Steering feels really good in sport. Boost kicks in at around 2,800 RPM. That's when you feel the meat of the boost. But when it comes to torque curve, the torque starts to build as quick as like 1,500. Third gear, yeah, at around 2,200, you start to really feel the boost kick in. Bumps. Yeah, with these 60 series sidewall tires, it handles the bumps really well. But we'll take it out of sport mode because, as we mentioned, sport mode with front wheel drive is borderline useless, but the steering does get a lot lighter in normal mode. We'll take a step out here, open her up a little bit more, and on the gas. Oop. So fast. You look down and you are flying. And at highway speeds now, since we got the dual pane windows, you hear just about nothing when it comes to wind noise, road noise too. These Goodyear Assurance tires are unbelievable at limiting road noise. You get a commanding view of the road and just overall excellent visibility. I know I've been complaining about this SUV because of the all-wheel drive, but I need you guys to understand that the only reason I'm harping on it so much because of the all-wheel drive, or the lack of all-wheel drive, is because if it had all-wheel drive, I genuinely think this would be the best SUV out on the road today. On the gas, woo, like it's fast, guys. Like you're picking up speed literally just as quick as vehicles that are costing $20,000 more Lexus RX with basically the exact same power plant, which is also front-wheel drive base, and which I also think is absolutely ridiculous. If you're looking to save $20,000 bucks compared to a Lexus RX while still having basically the exact same power plant, yes, out of a scale of 1 to 10, let's imagine like the Lexus RX has a 10 out of 10 interior when it comes to quality. This is closer to a 7 or 8 out of 10, but you're also saving $15,000 to $20,000 bucks. And if that's what you're looking for, guys, I would 1000% recommend checking out the 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe. If you're looking for the cheapest way into one, of course, check out the SE. But if you want a couple options to go along with it, I would definitely recommend checking out the SEL. And a big thanks to Brandon Hyundai in Tampa, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to your inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out and ask for Jonathan. And a huge thanks to all you guys for watching. I had a great time making this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys know the channel is just not possible without you, and I really appreciate the constant support. But again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Leave a like too. It really helps me out the YouTube algorithm. That's how these videos get promoted to new people. Leave a comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Leave a comment. Let me know if there's any specific cars, SUVs, or trucks you'd like to see reviewed on this channel, and I'll definitely try getting those videos for you ASAP. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope all of you have a great day.